Amanda and Ozzie here again today. I hope everybody's having a good Sunday. Today I want to talk about when you get your bird home, what you need to do. I know a lot of these videos that say watch this before you get a new bird, once that's what this video is, but this video is about, okay, I know for sure I'm getting a bird, so now what I need to do. So when you get your bird home, the first thing you need to remember, if you don't remember anything else about this video, remember number one. You are in control of your household. Not your bird, not your kids, not anybody else. You are in control. So you need to set that standard with your bird once you get home. So the main thing that I can tell you is this with the screaming. No matter how good your bird is, just like Ozzie's a good bird, but she warned us that when we got home, Ozzie is going to try you just like a toddler. And sure enough, she was right. So when you get your bird home, they're going to start screaming. And they're going to want you to respond to them. What you do is ignore them. This is going to be the hardest thing that you do throughout the whole process of owning your bird. Trust me, we know. And this takes a lot of patience, I'm not going to lie. It's hard, and you have to have everyone in your household on board. And it's going to be really hard with your kids, especially if you have small children. They don't understand this. They don't get this. Because not only is it just ignore your bird, you don't need to leave the room, because that's some sort of, hey, I got their attention, I made them mad, and they left the room. So they know they've got you at that point. No putting your hands over your ears, or some kids will be like, oh my gosh, shut up. Like, we had to deal with that too. But we had to just keep reminding them, no, there's no speaking, no engaging with the bird whatsoever when they're screaming. So this is a really hard one, especially if you're not so patient. But we did, we would be, the day after we brought him home, my husband and I were just chilling on the couch, watching TV, probably golf, and Ozzie just started screaming. So we just had to sit there. We continued our conversation. We acted like he wasn't even in the room, and finally he did be quiet. And the key to this too is once they are quiet, give them about 10 seconds of being quiet. And with us, most of the time, Ozzie, his thing is he'll scream, and then a little bit later he'll say, Ozzie, good boy. Well, at that point, we would go get a treat and give it to him so he understands, okay, they like when I talk, but they don't want me to scream. And this takes a lot of time and a lot of effort, but I'm telling you, your bird, no matter how hard-headed, I truly do think they'll get this, because it's just like a kid. If you continually give in to bad behavior or whining or screaming or crying, and they see that you give in to that, they're going to continue to do it, just like with these birds. If we gave in to Ozzie, we would not be able to control him right now. He would scream 24 hours a day. Not what you want. So once you set that standard with them, they will get it. These birds are smart. If your toddler can get it, your bird can get it. So what we do is, like I said, we give Ozzie a treat. And sure enough, we're on week 3, and Ozzie doesn't scream anymore like that. And we are amazed. And even now, used to, no matter what, when we went out of the room, he was going to scream. Which, just a heads up, that is normal cockatoo behavior. When you leave not just cockatoo, parrot behavior. If you leave your bird in a room by themselves, they're going to scream. Well, now, since we have Ozzie trained so well, yesterday I was cleaning house, and I just realized, hey, Ozzie's not, I told my husband, Ozzie's not screaming, and nobody's in there with him. And to me, that just amazed me. So what I did, I come in here and I gave him a treat and just told him, you're being a really good boy. And he, engaged with him and let him know that we liked the behavior. So sure enough, as the day went on and I kept cleaning house, he kept doing the same thing. Now, occasionally, would he scream? Yeah, he would. He's a cockatoo. They scream sometimes just because. But still, at that point, you still ignore it. But when they don't scream, that's when you need to give them the attention. So, like yesterday while I was cleaning house, he did such a good job. So I got him out, put him on my shoulder, and I still had the clothes to put away, and I let him go with me. And you could tell he was like, oh wow, I really enjoy this. So if your bird sees that they get to do things they enjoy when they behave well, you're going to get the good behavior, just like your kids. They know you're not going to give in, they're going to give you the good behavior to get what they want. Same thing with your bird. I'm telling you, stick with this. It's going to be hard. This is going to be really hard. It was hard for us, but it is so worth it. Like yesterday we couldn't believe it, and today we've just been going around, trying to get the house in order, and he's been great. So when he's great, we give him good rewards. Like today, we let him out. We went to my mom's to eat Sunday dinner. Ozzie went with us. And that's just amazing. So it's going to be hard, but ignore your bird when they scream. And remember that you run your house. You did choose to bring this bird into your home, but you wanted them to be a part of your family, not change the whole dynamic of your house. You still have kids, you still have a life, we have another pet that we adopted. We have a dog that we adopted 3 years ago. We did not want his life to be changed, not in the one bit, because he did not choose to get this bird, we did. So it's our job to keep everything flowing, and I have to say it has been unreal. The dog and the bird get along, the kids get along with the bird, and it's just been a really, really good process, and I hope this is helping everyone. But if you will stick to that, that's your main thing. You rule your household. The second thing I want to talk about is not letting your bird get attached to one person. This is a really hard one too. Because if it's like our household, my husband leaves before I leave in the morning for work, and he also gets home later than I do. Therefore, that leaves me in the mornings feeding Ozzie, getting Ozzie ready for the day, making sure he has everything he needs, getting all of his foraging ready, and he gets so excited about that. So he loves to see me coming in the morning because he knows, what he's going to get. In the evenings when I get home and I'm preparing dinner for the family, I always, give Ozzie a little snack or something before he gets his chop at dinner. And so we have that relationship. So it did start to where he really, really was attached to me. So I kind of had to pull back a little bit, and my husband used treat training to kind of coerce Ozzie back to him a little bit to say, hey, you have to be with the whole family, not just one person. So if that starts to happen, you just kind of have to step back, let other members of the family spend a little more time than you do, even if it's with treats, go to them for treats, so that the bird learns that, he needs to have a relationship with everybody. He doesn't need to have that mate kind of relationship with you, just a family relationship with everybody. And that's a really hard one, but you just got to work at it. And like for me, even with me, my reward sometimes isn't going to be like everybody else's. Like, he really likes me, so my reward is if he's been really good, I'll put him on my shoulder and walk to my parents. My parents just live right down the road, take him on a walk, and that's a reward. He doesn't want that treat from me. He wants time with me. Now, the other members of the family have to work a little harder, but it's still, he enjoys spending time with everybody, and that's what we want. And that's what you want, because you do not want your bird to be so attached that you can't have people over to your house because they're so protective and think that you're their mate. You don't want people not wanting to come to your house and be like, oh, that crazy screaming biting bird, I do not want to go to their house. That's not what you want. You want your bird to have a healthy relationship with you and your family, and you want to have that healthy relationship. It's not healthy for you or your bird to be that obsessed with each other, have that kind of relationship. Like, I would love to just sit and cuddle Ozzie, but you can't do that, especially with a cockatoo. The most we do is pet him on the head. We don't go below the head because it's just going to make him hormonal, and that's not happy for you or him because that's going to tick him off. And that's just going to make everything worse. So you just want to keep it where he feels like he's a member of the family and everybody has their time with him. This is why you see us take Ozzie out so much, because we want Ozzie to be a social bird. We want him to have a good life and not be afraid of people and learn that people are good and, animals. Yesterday at Whitewater Falls, he saw dogs and he just loved it. And that's what we want. We don't want him to be afraid. And because, some parrot owners, I've heard some YouTube videos, that a lot of parrots are scared of everything. Well, they can be, but that's a little bit on you too, because what we do with Ozzie, if he's scared of something, we just try to introduce it to him even more. Like he was scared of the toilet flushing. Funny thing, but he was really scared of that. So every day now, I kind of let him hear that noise and be like, hey, it's okay. You're going to hear noises and there's going to be things in this house that may scare you, but you have to learn that it's going to be okay. Because you don't want to be walking on eggshells in your house, or I know I don't, because of your bird. You want them to be, okay. And if you want to go in the car and go for a ride and go do this, get your bird and your dog and take them. I mean, that's the kind of pets I want to have, and that I would think a lot of other people would. And there's so many of these birds in rescues. They're the #1 bird in rescues for screaming and biting. And after just kind of doing my own research on having Ozzie, and now that I'm talking to people that do own birds, I understand why. Because if we wouldn't have taken control of the house and let Ozzie sit here and scream all day and us just be like, oh, what do you want? Oh my gosh, and react to his every little whim, it would be a miserable household. There's no way I could do what we did the first 2 days all the time. Hi, good boy, Oz. But that's what you have to see. It's going to stink at first, but it's so much better than you walking on eggshells and letting a bird rule your house, not wanting people to come over because they're scared of the biting, screaming bird. You just want an all-round good family unit with your bird, and for them to be social. Introduce new things to your birds. We have 4 kids total in our household at any point in time, and they could have friends over, girlfriends over, and we want that to be okay. We don't want the bird to cause everybody be like, oh my gosh, we can't do this or we can't do that. No, we just have gradually let him get used to it, and now nothing really bothers him. And when he goes to sleep at night, I'll try to have the dishwasher running or the dryer running and just kind of get him used to these noises so you're not like, oh my gosh, it's got to be quiet, our house has got to completely change. No, you can do that if you want to, but I'm just trying to give you tips. I wouldn't do that, because you want to have the household that you want, not based on what your animal or pet wants. Of course you want a good life and them to be happy, but you have to be reasonable and have that balance. And I'm telling you, it will make a world of difference. And these guys would not be in the rescues like they are if people would do this, I feel. I just think these things are so important. And this is going to be a really long video, guys. Sorry. But these are just important, and it's so important for you and your bird. And I'm telling you, if you follow this, you will have a great, happy, successful story with your parrot. And that's what I want for all these birds. And the last thing I'm going to talk about today is you need to find an avian vet for your bird. Not just a vet that says, oh yeah, I do birds sometimes. You want to make sure they're avian certified. You want to look them up online and make sure they have, I can't think of the exact name, but it's a little circle and it's like avian vet certified. So if you had an emergency, where am I going to go with my bird? You need to know this before you have your bird with you at home, before you purchase it, bring it home, adopt it, whatever. So if something happens with your bird emergency-wise, you know where you're going to go. We found one that's 45 minutes away. So we know if we have an emergency with Ozzie, we've got 45 minutes that we've got to, be getting to that vet. And some people, it could be even longer. But you just want to make sure that you have that contact already. And just for the nail clippings and or nail file to keep his nails clipped and things, I mean, we'll go to the vet that we take our dog to just because they are used to doing things like that. But when it comes to an emergency, you want to have that contact. I already know that you can take that bird there in case something happens. And that's just something you want to know before you have your bird. And I'm going to stop the video right there because I don't want to go too long. But number one, you control your home. Number two, you are not your bird's mate. Do not act like it. Number three, find a avian certified vet in case of an emergency. And there's so many more things, but I feel like those are the top three things that you should really know going in to purchasing or adopting a bird. These are what you need to know once you bring your birds home. And I feel like if you follow these things and have these things in place, you will have a successful relationship with your bird. And I'm so sorry for going so long, and I hope you all enjoy this. Please leave things in the comments, videos you would like to see, questions you may like answered. If you have adopted a bird, what kind of bird, your experience, just anything like that, because I think it's great if we can get content out there so people know, so you don't have to go through wondering, and you can be like, oh, I've got this. I know what I'm going to do when I bring my bird home. But thank you for watching. I hope everyone has a great end of their weekend, and we'll see you next time.
They ask for big horses.